Namaste, everyone. Before I start, I just wanted to thank the World Hindu Congress Organizing Committee, specifically Muraliji and Brindaji, for their incredible work putting together these panels, as well as for the opportunity to speak here as one amongst these other talented and admirable speakers. So normally, whenever I do a talk like this, it's about youth empowerment through activism or topics related to sustainability. But this time I'm actually very excited because I've been given the theme of recontextualizing Hindu wealth creation for youth, which I think is a topic extremely relevant and necessary to talk about, especially within the Hindu community, because I think we all know that while our people tend to be extremely successful in whatever field they pursue, risk-taking and choosing non-traditional career paths are qualities that we tend to lack in, which I think are extremely crucial for wealth generation. That being said, wealth creation can be quite a complex topic, as there are multiple ways to approach it. However, I would like to focus on it through a lens of sustainability and social enterprise, particularly how we can tap into the entrepreneurial mindset of youth as a way of addressing many global issues. So as you may all know, we live in a world where it feels like there's a new issue talked about in the news every single day. There's a range of critical issues such as climate change, inequality, food insecurity, discrimination, and all of these pose a severe threat to the livelihoods of people globally. But particularly those in Bharat due to its large and culturally and economically diverse population. When talking about food insecurity in particular, an issue that has historically impacted Bharat, the Green Revolution was an example of a past solution that ultimately led to long-term consequences for people's health, the environment, quality of food, and this was mainly due to a lack of foresight and consideration for building sustainable agricultural practices. It was an example of how poor decision-making and problem-solving in the past can have lasting effects on an entire population of people. This shows us the importance of addressing issues in a holistic manner and going beyond the tried and tested methods of problem solving. And I think entrepreneurship with a focus on social good is the way to do so. We are all aware of the various geopolitical crises occurring around the world today. And all of these have a direct impact on our ability to import and export goods, therefore directly affecting our food supply chain and resulting in increased costs for basic commodities for people around the world. The ongoing climate crisis, biodiversity loss, physical and mental health related issues are also worsening people's ability to access quality food. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization's report reveals hidden costs of around $10 trillion a year just in agri-food systems alone. And according to this report, more than 70% of these hidden costs are driven by unhealthy diets that are high in processed foods, fats, and sugars, leading to obesity and various non-communicable diseases, which all cause labor productivity losses. Such losses are particularly high in high and upper middle income countries, and 1/5 of these total costs are environment related, from greenhouse gas emissions to land use change and water use. Okay, so now enough talking about the actual issues. I want to transition more towards talking about solutions to these issues. Bharat's solutions for these issues are derived from a host of traditional knowledge and proven farming practices. I think this is a recurring issue where traditional practices that we typically overlook tend to resurface, oftentimes through Western sources. Only after then do we actually begin to see the benefits of them. I mean, we've all seen it happen in our daily lives, right? From like hair oiling TikToks to yoga YouTube videos during the pandemic to drinking golden milk lattes at Starbucks. Now, a similar thing is occurring with millets. And I don't know how many of you know what millets are, but millets are a cereal crop commonly grown in Africa and Asia. And they've made a powerful comeback in the recent years after the UN declared 2023 the International Year of Millets. And this was after Bharat's efforts to recognize its numerous health and environmental benefits. and revitalize its value as a crop to the international community. Millets are gluten-free, they're rich in protein, and have the highest calcium content of all cereal grains, and can help control blood sugar levels and cholesterol. Considering the large presence of heart disease and diabetes in the Indian community specifically, we must take a look at making changes to our diets. They also need significantly less water than rice to cultivate, they're drought-resistant, and offer natural resistance to pests, and can grow in low-fertility soils. These benefits aside, this superfood can create potential for economic opportunity and ultimately wealth generation for youth entrepreneurs in starting specialty restaurants, creating new food products, and add to the growing market for healthy and organic food. So let's take a moment to recollect and reflect on our ancient knowledge and practices. Before the Green Revolution, millets made up around 40% of all cultivated grains. Nowadays, a majority of Bharat's production focuses on rice and wheat. Our ancestors had a wealth of knowledge on proven farming practices that have always emphasized sustainability and health. This must be leveraged to produce high-quality grains, as food insecurity is just as much an issue of insufficient nutrition as it is about food quantity. When our past knowledge of agriculture is combined with youth's ability to adopt technology to modernize farming practices, it can go a long way in making farming more economically viable, as well as a more lucrative career choice. So just to transition a little bit and talk about the nonprofit initiative that I started in 2019 as an example of how problem solving requires a lot of self-initiative and creative solutions. So I started Girls Play Global, which is a nonprofit organization focused on empowering girls in rural Bharat using sports. And our vision is to make soccer, or I should say football actually, because I'm a little outnumbered by the number of people from the UK here. But our vision is to make football more accessible for girls, specifically in rural communities, and use that as a vehicle for change and social good. As a part of Girls Play Global's action plan to educate students about sustainable food systems, we hosted 2023 Match for Millets this past summer. Through the tournament, girls not only had the opportunity to compete, but also to learn and promote the UN Sustainable Development Goals through their research of the nutritional and health benefits of millets. The event featured a completely millet-based menu for all players and attendees, a student-led poster and presentation campaign about millets, and hosted industry specialists in food and wellness. Now to finish up, I just want to end by emphasizing the importance of reclaiming Bharatiya culture. We are all aware that it's necessary, now more than ever, to reclaim and protect Bharat's rich traditions and knowledge. As a part of our dharma, we as Hindus value knowledge sharing, especially when it comes to the global good. However, when we consistently see our practices being taken advantage of, discredited, and removed from their rightful origins, it is part of our duty to reclaim our inherent knowledge. As youth, we are in a position to lead this transformation by creating economically viable social enterprises that are backed by a foundation of Bharatiya knowledge and practices. Thank you.